Do we need another volume on ethics of artificial intelligence? Do we need more publications on the issue when so many articles are already appearing everywhere in the scientific world? Today, we would like to argue emphatically that yes. My name is Filip Łapiński. I am the managing editor of Edukacja Filozoficzna, which translates into English as Philosophical Education Journal. And with me is Dr. Marcin Trepczyński, chief editor of the journal.
Hello, it's great to be here.
We work in an open access, double-blind, peer-reviewed, biannual journal published at the Faculty of Philosophy at the University of Warsaw in Poland. And our journal is, as I have said, perfectly free in any access, and we invite all the authors from Poland and abroad who publish philosophical articles of all kinds to submit their texts into our journal. We believe we want this journal to fulfill the educational mission, not just to publish more research on philosophical subjects, but also to share philosophical knowledge within the broader society. In this series of videos, we want to discuss the upcoming issues, the upcoming thematic issues that are being published in English, so that the broader audience, like you, may get to know more about the shape of the upcoming publications. And today we want to talk about the issue on AI ethics. So let me begin with the question, Marcin, how did the idea of creating such an issue come into being? How did it happen?
Well, everything started with one of the editors of this volume, namely Andrea Vestrucci, an AI expert and a member of our editorial team, who said, Marcin, what about creating an issue on AI? And I said, yeah, great idea, let's do that. And Andrea invited also Sarah Lumbreras to collaborate as a co-editor. And sometime later, also Ralph Weir, another member of our team, said, well, what about how about creating such an issue? And I told him, well, Andrea is working on this with Sarah, so maybe you can join them. And he was very happy to do that. And now we have a really strong team preparing this volume. Another thing is that we really felt that it was something essential, crucial to deal with those problems and give some relevant analysis also to our readers in our journal.
Yeah. Well, I think that's very interesting that the issue is being created with an international team responsible for its organization. But let me come back to the original question. Why another issue on AI ethics? There are so many publications.
Yeah,
what
right.
makes this issue special?
Yeah, you're right. There are many of papers everywhere. And very often when we get submissions, we see that, well, they are almost like GPT generated. Yeah, so it's a huge amount of this and just words. But we also see that there are still many important questions and problems. So we really want to select those papers which shows us something new, and we actually do that. And we think that this is the key role of academic journals, to really select what is important, what improves and develops the ongoing debates. And well, if we go through the submissions that we have, we will see that the problems are really not so obvious and really interesting.
I think that's an interesting aspect of the creation process that we are dealing with when creating the issue. We have received, I can tell you that we have received around 10 different submissions. Usually that would be enough to create a fully fledged issue, thematical issue. However, because of the very careful and demanding process of examination that we have applied and our reviewers have applied, we have rejected or have given back to the authors around 50% of these submissions, so that right now we are working with 5 of articles that we think are the best and, as you have said, offer the most insightful analysis of some problems that are very often overlooked when talking about AI.
Yeah, and this hard selection that you have mentioned is really a crucial aspect of our work as an editorial team, because we are those guardians who really try to just prepare what is relevant and say sorry to all those who just repeat the content and give nothing important.
That's why it's taking longer than usual to complete the issue. But we have both mentioned that we managed to select these few most interesting submissions. Could you give an example of one of those?
Yeah, for instance, we have a paper which defends the use of ChatGPT in academic writing. So, we know about those universities who applied and adopted the zero GPT policy. Yeah, and the author refers both to epistemic and ethical perspectives and argues, for instance, that those non-native English speakers, for instance, are at risk of false positive AI detection when we use the detectors of some AI influence. Yeah, and she also shows that, kind of moderate tolerance would be more fair for such authors who are non-native English speakers. So in the ethical perspective, perhaps we should also take it into account. So it's another important topic in the debate on AI ethics.
Absolutely. I could give another example of the article that we have already accepted for publication, and its title is Ideological Limits to Ethical Artificial Intelligence. I can reveal the name of the author because he has already successfully completed peer review process. His name is Luka Perusic. And in his article, Luka argues that when we are talking about ethical dimension within AI is functioning, we have to remember that our understanding of ethics is usually shaped by ideological determinants, by ideological factors which create economic and political systems of our time. And as a result, sometimes ethical AI is ethical only within a narrow ideological vision of a specific company or a specific country in which AI is being utilized, whereas it can be argued from a different perspective that the supposed ethical artificial intelligence used in the process is not that ethical. An example that could be given is a corporation which uses AI and claims its AI to be ethical, whereas the company accepts dubiously ethical practices like extorting private data from individual users. So is that AI ethical? It follows a specific set of guidelines, or is it not ethical?
Yeah.
And it just appears to be ethical as a result of ideological operation being performed in the wider context.
Yeah, that's absolutely an extremely important problem. Yeah.
Now we would like to say hello to our issue editors who are not here with us in person, but who are connecting with us online. With us there is Professor Ralph Weir.
Hi, I'm Ralph Weir. I'm one of the editors for this special edition of Educacja Filozoficzna. It's been really great working with the journal team and with my fellow co-editors to make this issue happen.
Professor Weir, would you like to share your own comment on one of the other submissions?
We received some really excellent submissions for the issue. One that I particularly appreciate is about Moral Agency and Autonomy in Human AI Teams. This is an article that starts by introducing the trolley problem for autonomous vehicles. So you probably know the trolley problem, Philippa Foot's classic thought experiment. Should you pull a lever to send a railway carriage into one person instead of killing 5? Well, when Foot first came up with that idea, it was kind of an abstract way of thinking about moral rules. But with the advent of autonomous vehicles, this is now a practical design question. And this article does a couple of interesting things. One thing it does is offer a kind of model of an emerging hybrid agency that arises when humans are no longer just using AIs as tools in their moral decision making, but as it were as secondary agents in the team making that decision. And it also offers some reasons for thinking that we ought to preserve human primacy in moral decision making. So what it has to say about this is that human relations are characterized by what the article calls mutual recognition or presence. I guess I would like to explain this in terms of intentionality. When I have a relation with you, I have thoughts about you, having thoughts about me, having thoughts about you. We're both characterized by these inner states that are directed out onto one another. And while current AIs obviously are very good at simulating that feature of human relations, there's good reason to doubt that they ever really have those intentional directed states. And if not, that's going to make a big difference to the kind of roles in which we ought to allow AIs to replace humans and the ways in which we ought to allow AIs to collaborate with humans in moral decision making. So the article's a really interesting read. There are some really great other articles in the issue. Give it a look.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate the opportunity to work in a larger team international team on the issue. So would you like to tell us about some other submission that we have received and you think it's worth sharing info on?
Certainly, I would like to mention one of them, which is related to philosophical education, including AI ethics. So the author asks a question, can computational methodologies help us if we want to improve our curricula or materials for philosophical courses, including courses on AI ethics? And the author shows that applying such methodologies, including like TF, IDF, or topic modeling and others, are really helpful. And on these grounds, on the grounds of such analysis, we can see conceptual gaps, we can discover new materials that could be adopted and applied for such courses, and also we can make the course more accessible to students. So it shows that it is really relevant also to use NLP to assess the materials, assess the curricula that we have.
Absolutely, thank you very much. So as you have seen, a lot of the submissions that we have in this issue are definitely worth reading. And even though we are still working on the issue, we may still accept a few last remaining submissions. We believe that the issue will definitely contribute a lot to the ongoing discussion on AI ethics. We invite you to watch our website, where we will publish this issue, but also other issues. We are about to publish an issue on Lvov Warsaw School, so definitely a completely different topic. Watch our social media, where we publish information on our upcoming webinars. We have completed a few webinars on the upcoming issue where the authors themselves had the opportunity to present their articles to the wider public. We will be publishing these webinars on our YouTube channel as well. So we definitely invite you to keep your eye on our social media. And let me just finish with a general invitation to all the aspiring philosophical authors to send your submissions, both thematic, based on the CFPs that we publish on our website, but also non-thematic non-thematic topics in general. We publish both thematic and non-thematic issues, so any of your philosophical submissions are welcome and will be examined by our editorial team.
Thank you so much and feel invited.
Thank you.